Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It's Friday, November 21st, about 7:30 at night, and this is our daily recap video for the trades and holdings within YieldMax's Ulti, LFGY, and SLTY. They are option income strategy funds within the YieldMax universe. Reminder, I'm on X at ETF_Inspector1. Let's get right into it. It was another bad week and another bad month at this point for everything except for SLTY. But it was surprising. We did say that there was a possibility this could happen one day, and it did. Ulti finishing in the positive 2.31%, LFGY finishing positive 0.95%, and SLTY, which is shorting everything, finishing in the positive, just barely though. 0.08%. They did go up a little after hours as well. Let's see if the other two did just a little bit for LFGY and 0.5% for Ulti. Okay, we're going to do a, expedited version of the video tonight. It's Friday. We really don't care about all the details. We just want to hear the big numbers, and then we'll watch the Sunday week look ahead video to see where all the new options are sold and things like that. So starting off, we did have some changes within the fund. First one was pretty odd. SoundHound AI, they sold 4,455,800 shares. I know that says contracts, but that applies to the options. Up here it's shares. And that is 400 short of all of them. So we didn't completely get out of SoundHound AI. I'm guessing this was just an oversight. They just made an error. But there's still 400 shares there. Not sure what you're going to do with that. But I would assume on Monday we'll see a closeout of the rest of the shares. They bought Quanta Services. That's PWR as the stock ticker, and they bought IBIT, iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, getting a low price for it at least. I don't know if we're ready for, is Bitcoin going to turn this thing around now or what? But and then they also sold shares of NVIDIA. I believe it was a complete closeout, and it was NVIDIA. So we no longer have NVIDIA within Ulti. After that, you've got your closeout and rolling to the new positions next week, or just adding the option strategies for IBIT and Quanta for next week. Okay, I don't think we even care about how much they made on this one, how much they didn't make on that one on a Friday. So what's the total amount? $4,936,000 credit. That is specifically on the options trading. It doesn't include buying into or selling out of new underlyings. Okay, and that's going to go along with a $6.8 million increase in the value of the shares within Ulti. All right, so obviously, basically they won all their trades with the exception of they've got a couple of puts that they had sold that did end up in the money. Not too drastic, less than 1% on that one. Maybe the CELH, but that's actually for next week, so it's really not even a concern for now. So obviously the market was horrible all week long, so you're going to win your trades when you're selling covered calls off of that. We did have Circle Internet Group as the biggest gainer on the day, 6.59% increase. And we had Iron Limited as the biggest loser, 2.78% decrease. So no crazy 10-20% moves today. One thing that was of note, the weighted move. So I've talked about this a lot. I'm not going to keep explaining it. So 0.5698, so about 0.57% increase in the value of the shares if you just had them. But Ulti going up, this says 2.7, but that's also because Excel thinks it closed at $4 when the finance app says it closed at $3.98. So whether it was 2.3 or 2.7, either way, Ulti moved up higher than at a higher rate than it's underlyings. That's not very common. Two explanations for this. One, a lot of your sold calls on the very last day are going to basically drop in cost because there's no more time value left, and they were all out of the money. So all of the negative values to cost to close out, once you hit the last day, they all are going to drop drastically. Regardless, you don't need the share price of the underlying to move, so that's going to fall off. Another thing was, though, that yesterday the share price got a little out of whack with the NAV. So I can't remember. Let's see if we can figure it out. So Ulti went up 9 cents today, meaning, they closed around 389 yesterday. But then once we got the download, everything was settled. If you took the assets under management divided by the outstanding shares, it said that Ulti was worth 397. So it generally trades within a penny of what it's worth. So at that point, it was trading at 389 at the end of yesterday and worth 397. So your big fish, your whales, are not going to miss out on an opportunity to buy $3.97 for $3.89. So you didn't need share prices to go up for the share price of Ulti to go up because it was too low in the first place. It got bought back up to make some sense. So that's why realistically we only needed a 0.5% move to move up as much as we did today. I hope that makes sense. If not, I don't know. We'll try again next time. So come back Sunday for the week look ahead video. Everything will be updated. We'll be gotten rid of everything that expired today. Everything will be the new expiration dates, new options percentages in and out of the money, and we will see how we set up for the week ahead. And we'll also come up with a guesstimate of what do we think the payment's going to be. Next up, we have LFGY. No changes in the shares within the fund, so it's just closing and sometimes rolling of all the options within the fund. All right, too much to go through. It's Friday. We don't care. Just tell us the number, $1 million. So they had a credit of $1 million on the closeout. It was a successful trading week for them. Not a ton of money, but definitely a positive. So we will see how that works. But obviously that's going to happen when the value of your shares drops by so much. You're going to win your covered call strategies. So again, come back on the week look ahead for the guesstimate. When we take a look at the holdings within the fund, again, Circle Internet Group over here was the big winner, 6.5% increase on the day. And, Strategy, the big loser, down 3.74%. Let's see what Strategy's actually done over a week, a month, 3 months. Over the course of the week, Strategy's down 28.5%. Over the that was $28.47. Got to switch back to percentages. I was going to say, how in the world did we lose 120%? Over the last month, down 41%, 52% over 3 months. So MSTR is hard to watch. All right, LFGY was able to increase by about $200,000 on the trading day, so nothing major. A little bit of an upward move. That seems like a pretty big move, to be honest. What's that? 32 cents for just a couple 100,000, but I don't know. No, that sounds about right. Okay, close to 1%. There's 166 million in assets under management, 6,350,000 outstanding shares. People sold out of the fund yesterday, 50,000 shares. Let's back up for a second. I'm all over the place. I forgot to mention this. Ulti's at 1.4 billion in assets under management. People sold out of Ulti yesterday after they got their distribution. 3,725,000 shares dropped off the outstanding shares, bringing it down to 357,550,000. We talked about the NAV already. Okay, LFGY, right, the NAV at the start of the day, 26.19, closing around 26.51 yesterday. They paid that 37.96 cents per share. Okay, and finally, SLTY. SLTY continues to kick butt. I know they're over a month of being good. Are they in the 2-month range? SLTY over the last month, you'd be up 1% plus all the payments. And I believe we actually have 5 payments in this chart. So there's 5 different times it dropped by its distribution, still up 1% along with, so it's up 1% plus the last 5 distributions. So SLTY is doing great. That's exactly what we would want Ulti to be doing if Ulti is listening. 3 months, not so much. Yeah, still getting their butts kicked over the last 3 months in SLTY. Trading-wise, we do have some changes. They've begun shorting GameStop. They've begun shorting Block, that's XYZ, and they have begun shorting Oracle. They closed out their short on Intuit, and they just closed out a small percentage, I think like 10% of their short on Invesco QQQ. Okay, as far as options trading are concerned, they actually had a debit, but that makes sense if everything's dropping and you're selling puts. Your puts are going to end up in the money and you're going to have to pay to close them out, but it wasn't too terrible. But either way, they're going to lose their options trades over the course of the week, but that's because their values increased by so much, so they're still making out just fine. Their share price will go up plenty enough to pay out the distribution and still be doing well. So I'm sure you guys are kicking yourself for not jumping into SLTY a while ago. Every week that I mention it, I wish we would have jumped in and another week goes by where it does well. So 29 million in assets under management, 750,000 outstanding shares, NAV of 39.50 at the start of the day, closing around 39.63. As you scroll down, you see a lot of red. So basically almost all the puts that they sold ending up in the money. That's why it costs to close out. They did have Moderna as their big gainer today, which is bad for them. If you short something, you want it to go down, not up. So it was up over 6%. That actually dropped their values by 75,000. Energy Fuels Inc. Canada, UU is the stock ticker. They were the biggest loser, so that helps the fund. They dropped 3.25% on the trading day. So overall, values of the shares within the fund today dropped by 275,000. So that does make it odd that it would actually trade into the positive if they lost a little bit of money on the options trading and they dropped in value at the same time. It's kind of odd. Why would they go up? But again, even if things were in the money or even if things were close on that last day, they are going to quickly move towards just the intrinsic value as opposed to the intrinsic plus extrinsic value. And so when all those costs drop off, that those are basically worth negative quantities of money. When all those drop off, you end up going further positive. That's the only thing I can think as to why. And it's not like they were up a lot. They were up just barely 0.08% or 3 cents. So, okay, that's all I have for you on the trading video. So more to come. There will be Ulti and SLTY will have their own week look ahead that'll come out Sunday morning, and LFGY will have a week look ahead along with blocks from X funds, and that generally comes out sometimes Sunday morning late and other times Sunday afternoon. So either way, they'll all have estimates on them, and we'll talk about how far in and out of all the options are. We'll talk about the implied volatility updates, the weighting averages of everything in the fund. So that's our deep dive video. So thank you for watching. I got a dad joke for you, and then we'll get out of here. So I used to sell security alarms door to door, and I was really good at it. If no one was home, I would just leave a brochure on the kitchen table. That'll do the trick. Okay, have a good weekend. Thank you for watching again. I'll catch you in the next video.